Well, hello students. This is Professor Shalomo Levy from Northampton Community College, and this time I'm coming to you from my home office here in Bethlehem. The first thing I'd like to do is to thank you and congratulate you for being a great class under very difficult circumstances. I'm recording this video on Friday afternoon, which means that we have almost completed our first week in this new age of the coronavirus, of education online. And for most of you, this has been a difficult but successful transition. What I'd like to do today in this brief video is talk to all of my students, my online students, and my campus courses, and give you a quick update on what's going on in all of our classes. Hopefully this is more thorough and more personal than just sending out a bunch of emails, which I'll probably also send out emails as well. But I like to talk to you as much as I can, as often as I can. And so first let me begin with a general update. I was at a staff meeting, a Zoom online meeting on Wednesday with the college president and the faculty and staff of the college. And so the latest information that I'm receiving is that this corona crisis is expected to continue for the rest of the semester. So all of our classes will continue as they have begun this week until the end of the semester. So you should expect that this is the way things are going to be until the summer, and then they'll figure out, hopefully by then, what will happen during the summer semester, and hopefully by the fall we'll be back on campus and things will be back to normal. In addition, you should know that most of the other college services are still open and available to you. So that is, the Learning Center is still offering assistance, including tutoring for students, and all that is being done, again, online and by phone. But they're still serving students and helping them with any of their academic needs. The counseling department is also still open, as long as with the college success coordinators and advisors to help students with any problems that they may be experiencing, especially now with everything that's going on. You should know that the college is still there for you, and you can still access those services by phone or online. And the library is still helping students who have to do research papers and need access to other materials, including articles that they can locate for you and email to you as PDF documents. So all of that is still available to you in a different form. Now, I've been hearing from a lot of students in the college as well, of students who don't have reliable internet access. Excuse me. Hope this is not a cold. Students who who don't have reliable internet access and have been trying to use their cell phones to do all of this. That's very difficult. And so the college is trying to provide more internet access to the local cable companies that are working with the college for students. If you're a college student or a student K through 12 and you need internet access, they're helping students to acquire that. And they're providing hotspots in the various college parking lots. Of course, you'd have to work in your car, but you could drive to the different locations, and they're developing a map where you could park, and then from within your car, or if it's a nice day, I guess sitting outside, but maintaining that distance with other people, where you can obtain free access, internet access from the college. So those are the general announcements that I've learned this week. Hopefully you've heard some of these from the college administration directly, but I'm giving you an update. Okay. Now, as to our classes, this is what is going on. First, I'm going to speak to students in my American History 1 class. These are the most sections that I have, both History 113 WA, which is the online class, VA, which is the 10-week class that was also started online, and History 113 06 and 04, which were the campus courses. So again, let me say I'm proud of how well you've transitioned. I also want to thank my online students for being patient, you see, because for our online classes, none of this has really directly affected us. And some of them were ready to continue on even right after spring break, even with the extension. So I want to thank you for being patient and sensitive to your other classmates. Even some of my online students who have been taking the course online have been using the college and using the libraries and the computer centers to do a lot of their work. So even though it's been an online course, even some of them were affected. And whether you're online or on campus, a lot of students have been affected with their employment, either losing their jobs in different industries, restaurants and consumer stores and things like that that have been closed. And I've also heard from other students who are online and on campus who have had to work more, who have been designated vital workers. Some of them were working part-time over the holidays for companies like UPS or Amazon, and now they want them full-time. And so that has created other problems. And then students who have, as I said, lost jobs or have been suffering with illnesses, colds, regular flu colds, other types of colds, and family members who have been sick. So with all that going on, I've been checking regularly in Blackboard, and our classes, I'm happy to report, are doing surprisingly well. I shouldn't say surprising because you were a good class before the spring break and all of this began. But just to give you an idea, in our classes, at least 90% of the students have checked in this week. Most of them have completed assignments. So we're really doing great, and we want to keep that up. Now, as I said in my first video, we've had to make some alterations to our syllabus because of the delay in starting back from spring break. And in this first week in particular, as people are getting acclimated to the new learning environment. And so I said that we would start this week with week number 9 on the syllabus. Not 10, which is what the dates say we should be up to chapter 10, week 10, but we're in week 9, concluding by Sunday of this week. And then starting on Monday, we will all move on to week number 10 for the 10-week VA section, the 10-week course. You're going on to week number 5. For the students in the VA and for the WA, we were expected to have an exam this weekend, and I'll talk more about that. I will post it for those who are ready to take it, but I'm also going to extend it for those who need a little more time, and I'll say a little bit more about that in just a moment. In the 10-week sections, all of you should have read chapter 10. It's week 9, but you should have read chapter 10 of our online textbook. And you have finished Benjamin Franklin, and you're now starting the narrative of 1845. This is the first autobiography by Frederick Douglass, America's leading abolitionist. And that is a book you're starting now. As we get closer to the Civil War, it's going to become more and more relevant. So keep up with that, just as we did with the Benjamin Franklin book, who was our guide to the colonial period. Frederick Douglass would be our guide to the antebellum period. So hopefully you have that book and you're reading that. Your document this week was about what was called the penny press, and it was the media. They didn't have internet, they didn't have Twitter and YouTube, but they did have a very lively media, and I wanted you to get a sense of that, because that was important, and you'll see a lot of connections between that and Andrew Jackson. Next, and here I want to apologize for how long it took me to do this. Last week when I recorded the video and sent it to you, I said starting this week, week 9, I would record these lectures for students, particularly who are accustomed to learning with the professor in the room who explains things as we go through it. And so I said I would start creating those lectures, which I have. And they are posted today. You'll see those this afternoon, and you can watch them if you like. The PowerPoints have always been there, the PowerPoint presentations, and my online students have been comfortable with those and have done very well with those up until this point. But I did promise students that I would record and try to teach online and explain things the way they're accustomed to me explaining them in these videos. So I did complete that. It turned out to be a little more challenging than I expected, so we've all had to adapt. I've had to learn how to use some new technology with green screen so that I could appear to be in my classroom, and how to have video and PowerPoints together in the same shot and things like that. But I think I got a hang of it, and I think it will be much easier now that I know how to do it from A to Z for all the future videos and these lectures going forward. This is the reason why I delayed posting the exam for this week. It is already in Blackboard. It was there at the beginning of the semester, but I didn't want to post the exam until students have had an opportunity to watch my video on Andrew Jackson and explain the important features of this period. It's called the Age of Jackson, because I didn't want you to take the exam, then see the video, and realize you could have done better on the test had you seen the video first. So this way you had an option. I did put the video there, so now you can watch it, which I encourage. And if you find it useful, it may help you, and then you can go ahead and take the exam. If you were ready to take it, my online students, and you don't feel you need additional kind of explanations, instructions, analysis, then you're not required to watch it. You can do as you normally have and just go ahead and take it. But I think some of you might also benefit, learn some things, and it may help you as well. But I wanted there to be an even playing field where everybody had the same opportunity to succeed. So that's going to be posted this afternoon. You can watch that. I'll post the test for those of you who have schedules where you normally take the exam on a Thursday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday. So I'll post it. And for everyone, you don't have to ask for an extension or anything. For everyone, I'm going to keep the exam up at least for the rest of the week into next week. Maybe until next Sunday as well. But so that way you didn't miss a deadline or an opportunity. The exam will be posted, and you'll have for the rest of the week to do that. I hope you're able to take it earlier, because next week we're starting week number 10 and we're going on to a new topic. But if you need a couple of extra days, then you could take that without penalty. And I appreciate you being patient with me as I learn how to use some of this new technology. Okay. Now back to test number 3. As I said, it is up. I do have a review sheet, the standard review sheets that I've been using. I also encourage students to use the review sheets that are at the end of each chapter. Those are much shorter than my rather exhaustive review sheets, but they're good and highlights the important people, places, events. And in the online version of the textbook, you also have practice exam questions. So if you take the exams in the textbooks, those do not count. I do not see the results of those, but that could be a good way of practicing and getting ready for the exam. This exam, test number 3, for those in the 15-week course, covers all the early American presidents from George Washington to Andrew Jackson. I have a worksheet, which again you don't have to submit, but so that you don't start getting the presidents confused. I mean, like making mistakes between John Adams, our 2nd president, and John Quincy Adams, our 6th president, his son, or between James Madison and James Monroe. I have a worksheet so that you can just keep all the early presidents straight and clear in your mind. Who was who, what order, what things happened under which administration. That worksheet could be very helpful in preparing for test number 3, since it focuses on these early American presidents. There are no questions about the American Revolution or the Constitution. That was all in test number 2. Test number 3 is the early administrations. How did the government work during those first decades of the country's existence? And so that is there. You could look at the review sheet. You could also do the practice questions, and then you could take the exam anytime you want between now, that is Friday afternoon, and until next weekend. I'm going to throw out another option for students within the test review folder. Normally, I give students the option of doing an extra credit paper if they like, and normally they would have to commit to doing a paper and submit a proposal by the start of spring break, which was a couple of weeks ago. Some students may have additional time on their hands because they don't have to go to classes and maybe other obligations. And if you're interested in doing an extra credit paper, now the students in American History 2, the paper is required, so you don't have a choice. And the students in my Black Experience course, also the paper there is required, so you don't have a choice. But for all my other students, I think I'll open that up to them if they like to do a paper, really to take advantage of this opportunity. So it's not only a challenge for some people. This extra time could be an opportunity to focus on their academic work even more, to take their mind off of other things, and to go into more depth. And so if you're interested, I'm going to keep that opportunity open for you to do an extra credit paper. It could be on anything related to our course on the Civil War coming up, or something we've already studied in the past. If you're interested particularly in Andrew Jackson, there's a great new book by David Meacham called American Lion, and other materials. So if you want to do an extra credit paper, that is your prerogative at this point. Just let me know, and if you decide later that you didn't want to do it, then you're not obligated to submit it. But if you do, it will count equivalent to a unit exam. And this could be good if you have a low test grade, or you want to pull up your average, or you just want to make it more like an honors course, or more like a history course that you would have taken at a four-year college or university, in which case a research paper is almost required in every history course. So then you can get as much out of this course as you would had you been paying $50,000 to study somewhere else. So I encourage you to do that. And finally, I want you to know that I still remain available to you by email mostly. Keep sending them, and I will respond to all of them eventually. And I'm contemplating the next step of this technology of doing some synchronous teaching, where we have a option in Blackboard where we can see and hear each other live if you have a camera, or just listen. And I'm thinking about maybe scheduling 1 or 2 sessions where we could actually meet through the program called Collaborate. I won't make it required, but I'll find out what people's schedules are, and maybe we could have some sessions of one kind or another. Finally, for the students in American History 2, I was thinking about recording a separate lecture for you. But I think, again, I checked Blackboard, and you've all completed your assignments for this week. And so I would just say to you, continue working on your paper, and I'll try to set up a time just for us through this synchronous learning, possibly next week. I'm thinking maybe Thursday. We might be able to ready to do that. So until then, remain confident, remain diligent and focused, and stay healthy. Take care and be well.